homogenization. And basically what this does, either of those methods, will take out any of the impurities and make the water pure. It doesn't have to be 100% pure, but it does have to be very close to it. So, for example, I did a test on my tap water in Dorset. We're a very hard water area, and I think it was about 360 odd parts per million, whereas the water that I've been recently getting from another supplier is just 8 or 9 parts per million, and it's basically a case of the lower the number, the less total dissolved solid. So that's why you get issues of limescale in showers, because that's what's being left over, and that's why you have water softeners installed into showers. You get water purifiers built into sinks sometimes for better drinking water. It's not just for window cleaning, but it is, what I'm going to show you now is the process of creating the water so that I can then take it to my window cleaning jobs. Now this, what I've got here, allows me to either produce it in bulk before I go out on a job, so I can prepare well in advance, or I can produce it actually on site. So I could take this tank with me. I prefer not to because I wouldn't like to damage it, but I could take it with me and set it all up, and then I could operate straight from an outdoor tap. But like I said, I prefer not to do that. I'd rather keep this at my home address. So I will now show you exactly what I mean. So we have 4 25-litre drums. So basically we take the lids off. Obviously 25 times 4 equals 100. And now I'm having difficulty. Come back to that one. I've just remembered, I just bought these two very recently. To happen, but sometimes these things do, and you need to be prepared for the unexpected. Here it comes. That's better. So we'll just do the same with that. I always have scissors in the kitchen, by the way, so this wasn't going as planned, this little bit, but I'd rather not stop the video. Right, so let's take that off. Thought I'd cut myself there. Right, okay, so this is what happens. So we have a pipe. This is where the water comes out. So, clicks in. So what will happen is water goes in here, there's resin in here, and the water's pushed into the resin and then sucked up again. There's a rod which goes through the centre. Actually, I can show you that because I have a spare one. So this with normal airing is it's the same, basically exactly the same. So this is basically resin in here, and it's kind of like sand, and that goes into the resin, and then what you will have is the water goes into this tank, and then it goes through the resin, which purifies the water, and then the purified water is then sucked up and then comes out the out socket. That's actually the in socket. I did hear on another YouTube video, it didn't really matter which way, but probably best to stick to the instructions. So yeah, we don't need that anymore. Now, when you buy a kit like this, it will probably not have something like this one. This is an adapter which I had to buy separately because I don't have an outdoor tap for reasons I don't really need to go into. Not here. But out on a job, you can connect this to a outside water tap, switch it on. This plugs into that, like so, and then you go to your garden tap, flip it on, and then you just turn on the water, and then let everything just go with the flow, I suppose, if you don't mind the pun. But because we're operating inside, I had to buy this special adapter, which clips on like so. And this will now clip onto the kitchen. There's a little washer, and they come with various size washers so that you can get the right fit. And just so I don't damage it, there's a little bit of extra protection, which I made up, custom made, in the form of a bit of sponge. So, look. Screw it on. And let's make sure we get a good seal. Now, I'll take this off and just make sure that the water flows. Now, see what happened there is that it's not quite 100% on, and so you're getting some leakage come out of this connection here. It's okay, but you just want to obviously test it beforehand, because if it's not on tight enough, then it might just spurt all over the walls, or indoors you want to be very careful. Outdoors you may not be so worried. So try that a bit tighter, see. Right. Okay. Yeah, that looks, there's not too much water coming out, so I think that's practical. The other thing is, obviously, if you're producing it at your home, certainly under UK legislation, you can actually get a reduction in your sewage rates if you're producing pure water for part of your business, because obviously this isn't going to be disposed of at your home. So you can ring up your local water company and say, look, I'm producing so many litres a month, and all being well, you should be able to knock off a little bit of your water bill. But obviously, it's not for you to make a profit. It's just basically something that's a bit like tax something to prevent water from, just to make sure it just goes one way. If that's the case, then make sure that it's not in here, for example, or if it's on the end of there, because basically what will happen is that it won't let the water, if it was on this one, it'll let the water go that way, but it won't let it go that way, and what will happen is you'll basically get a build-up of pressure, and then it will shoot off, which has happened to me before. Right, so let's just show you the purifying process. Yeah, that seems to be working. So this is pretty boring, but what I can show you, this is a TDS meter. You put this in the water to test it for total dissolved solid, so you can actually make sure that the water is indeed pure, or pure enough for window cleaning. So I'll do this in a second. Can be a bit of a long-winded process making this up. So I'll just do one barrel, just for the purposes of this video. But it depends on how much window cleaning you actually do. But if you're, I've seen, big tanks the size of this kitchen, basically. So if you're, I don't do pure window cleaning. As part, I do other parts. I do carpet cleaning and domestic and commercial cleaning as well. So it's not just simply window cleaning for me. If that was the case, I'd be using a lot more. So for me, this is perfectly adequate. But for someone who's maybe got loads of, who just does, like the guy that I know, who does all of this, it's not no domestic, just simply commercial windows. And so he's not using anywhere near, he's using so much more. I'm not using anywhere near what he's producing. So he needs a much bigger system. So you need to get the right equipment. This is fine for me, it wouldn't be fine for him though. Whoops. These can be a bit deceiving actually. Where's that? Oh. Okay, now that's blessing in disguise actually, because I can insert this meter in. And that has come up. Well, yeah. I can't show you because once I take it out, it goes back down to 0. But that has come to 1 part total dissolved solid per million. So that is, you aren't going to get it as low as that. The only other thing that I can say, well you obviously can get it to 0. I have done that a bit before. The resin obviously needs to be replaced, which is in here, the sand-like substance. So you need to monitor this. When it starts to get a bit higher, then you need to think about replacing it. You just need to use your own experience, skill and judgment basically for that. But it's a simple case of you just ring up your supplier, order it, should be with you in the next, my supplier will do it next day I think. Then you just take this out, you unscrew this, so it just twist like that, pops out, take out the resin, pour in the new resin, and it goes. And then when you want it, all you have to do is connect it up like this, and a presto. So I'll just do one more test for you, and then I'll stop filming, because I don't think you need to see the rest. I think you've probably got a pretty good idea. Well, what I can do, no I can't, because I'm using the tap. Bit of timing involved. Now you see there is a little bit of water popping out of the tap, so what I can do, let's test this. That's 1 part per million, so that's very, very low. Now if we can get a, not sure if I'm going to be able to do, you can use this. Yeah, it is filling up. I've now got a cap full of unpurified water. So let's test this. Now that went as high as 276, but it did vary a bit. It went to about 160 odd. So we're talking, you know, very, very high. This process really brings down, really purifies the water. Maybe not 100%, but very close to it. And that's what you need for window cleaning. So that's pretty much it. I won't bore you anymore. And I will now